Today, celebrating some fascinating history from an unusual museum in Sallisaw to a beautiful state park near Wagner and the man who invented an entire alphabet.
Travel with AAA's Discover Oklahoma.
Hi, and welcome to AAA's Discover Oklahoma. I'm Jennifer Reynolds.
And I'm Dean O'Lawley.
We're coming to you from our gorgeous state capitol this week, standing in front of this portrait of Sequoyah done by Oklahoma artist Charles Banks Wilson, and that's significant because he's part of our show this week.
Absolutely. He had a fascinating history. He was a Cherokee silversmith and created an alphabet that made reading and writing in Cherokee possible.
We're going to learn more about Sequoyah a little bit later in the show, but right now we're headed to Sallisaw, where you found an interesting museum.
Absolutely. It's called the 14 Flags Museum, and those flags represent all the different ones that have flown over Oklahoma. But upon further study, we also discovered a lot more Oklahoma history.
Driving up to the 14 Flags Museum, one can begin to sense the ever-important history these buildings contain, and preserving that history is a big part of why the museum was created in the first place. Echo Ryder is a volunteer and also helped establish the museum in 1986.
We wanted the younger generation know what the older ones had done in the past and the history of Oklahoma and the United States.
This is a come-and-go self-guided museum. It's run by volunteers and the city of Sallisaw, but strolling at your own pace is really the best way to see a museum such as this. We all react differently to how people lived years ago as we look at their furniture, their tools and such, and one can't help but think about the people who may have inhabited these buildings or the folks who walked through the doors and the stories they could tell. The oldest structure is the Lattimore cabin, built in 1835. This provides a good idea of life on the frontier. It also shows the living standards of the Cherokee settlers who came to Oklahoma long before the Trail of Tears. The secondary cabin was built by Judge Franklin Faulkner around the 1840s.
This is the first building right here. It's a partner cabin. He was a judge of the Sequoyah District in the Cherokee Nation. He was a wagon master that came over the Trail of Tears. It has artifacts of the original and replicas of the old original homes.
You'll also find the old Sallisaw train depot here. It's a great reminder of the tremendous influence of the railroad and how it could help a community grow ever so quickly, sometimes literally overnight. But again, I've always found it fascinating how stores looked so many years ago.
This general store is like the old general stores back in the 1930s and 40s that we had scattered around out in the countryside and also little small towns.
Small towns, the true backbone of any society. It's where community life begins, where history is created. And at the 14 Flags Museum, that history has been captured for you to see.
The 14 Flags Museum is open 7 days a week since it's a self-guided tour, but for more information on the museum, just travel on over to the Discover Oklahoma page at travelok.com.
Well, as we mentioned, we're at our state capitol this week, kind of hanging with Sequoyah, but there is another site in Sallisaw where you can really learn a lot more about him.
He was an original, to say the least, effectively creating a system of writing for the Cherokee language.
You can go to Sallisaw and actually see the log cabin he built back in 1829.
He was the best-known Native American of his time, a Cherokee, whose legendary invention launched him to celebrity status.
For a while, he was the most famous person in the world. His claim to fame is being the only person in history to ever be able to come up with a way of writing for a people by himself.
That's quite a credit, one sometimes attributed to Sequoyah's physical handicap, a lame leg.
Where others could prove their worth in battle and so forth, well, he was more or less a thinker.
And thanks perhaps to the extra think time, Sequoyah thought up an entire syllabary.
And he found about 86 sounds that would pretty well cover their whole language and just made a symbol for it. This would be ah, a, e, o, oo, and then just a grunt, just a sound. So this says ja, la, gi, or the word Cherokee in Cherokee is ja-la-gi.
It's an early day hooked on phonics.
And it's very quickly learned. Cherokees who speak the language can learn to read and write in just a few days.
The Cherokee Nation soon adopted Sequoiah's alphabet, and practically overnight, an entire people became literate. Sequoyah could have been a millionaire.
If he wanted to capitalize on that, he could have made a fortune of some of the Wild West shows. I'm sure he had offers, I'm sure, but he did not do this for money. He did this to help his people.
He could have purchased the finest of homes, but he chose to live simply, right here.
He built this cabin in 1829 on this original spot. It's never been moved.
The WPA in 1936 recognized the cabin's historical significance and built a native stone cover building around it to protect it from the Oklahoma weather.
In 1966, this site was designated a National Historic Landmark, which is a very big honor in itself.
The 10-acre park that surrounds the cabin makes for a serene picnic spot. It's a quiet place where it's easy to imagine Sequoyah going about his day. When Sequoyah wasn't inventing an alphabet, he ran a lucrative saltworks business, and you can see relics from that aspect as well as artifacts from his prolific home life.
By his own admission, he was married as many as 5 times and fathered as many as 20 children.
Sequoyah may not have been a show-me-the-money sort of guy, but it's apparent after a visit here that his gift of written language preserved a rich history and gave his people a wealth that's impossible to calculate. At Sequoyah's cabin near Sallisaw, I'm Shel Wagner.
You can find out more about Sequoyah's cabin, including the hours for visiting, at the Discover Oklahoma page at travelok.com.
All right, stay right where you are, because coming up next,
We're headed to the Wagner-Hulbert area to visit Sequoyah State Park when AAA's Discover Oklahoma continues right after this. Don't go away.
On the road, one never knows what lies ahead. Indubitably, almost every week, one encounters bad form from Sunday drivers.
Sheer rudeness begets the occasional fender bender.
Precisely why we have insurance from AAA.
Hear, hear.
A name drivers can trust.
Especially good ones.
Especially great ones.
Cheers!
Daddy, look, a beaver.
Oh, he's so cute.
Oh, no.
Until there's an impenetrable force field to protect your car from woodland creatures, there's the next best thing, insurance from AAA.
Welcome back to AAA's Discover Oklahoma. We are discovering our fun Oklahoma history this week.
we're at the state capitol, specifically on the 4th floor rotunda in front of the gorgeous portrait of Sequoyah.
We've already been to Sequoyah's cabin out in Sallisaw. Now we're headed for Hulbert to a state park named for him, Sequoyah State Park. Beautiful place right on the shores of Lake Fort Gibson.
I think it has 225 miles of shoreline, and who better to give us the grand tour than the magic man himself, Jeff Roberts.
Here we are at Fort Gibson Lake, the home of Sequoyah State Park, and today we're going to show you all you got to see. This place is awesome.
When you come to Sequoyah Park, we're on a little over 2,000 acres. So there's a lot here in the park. We have the Nature Center, we have a full-service marina, we have a stables operation, so you have horseback rides. We have about 12 miles worth of mountain bike and trails.
What about golfers? I think there's a little course over here that's pretty decent.
Yeah, we have an 18-hole golf course. The golf course is in great shape. One thing that we did add this year that has been kind of catching on is disc golf. We added that, and it is played actually on our 18-hole golf course. It's set there with it, so you can play it from our regular tees that the golfers play from, or we have it set up for a par 3 where you can play it as a regular disc golf set.
So Tony, now we're inside the Nature Center, and I mean, I'm amazed at what all you can see. And when you bring groups in and just people in general, they can kind of walk through here on their own, I guess.
But yeah, you can come in and look at the artificial exhibits, or you can walk out back. You can see the natural exhibits that we have. We have 2 gray fox and a coyote out back, and some birds. We have an eagle and an owl out in the cage. We got a beaver pond out front with a beaver in it, and then of course you saw the the turtles in the beaver pond out there too, so you can learn to identify some of the different turtles.
Tony was picking on me. I thought the turtles were fake. I even asked him, are those mechanical?
And of course, there's a wide range of lodging options at Sequoyah State Park. You could tent camp, stay at Sequoyah Lodge. The pool, by the way, at Sequoyah Lodge has been recently remodeled, and it is the perfect place to escape the summer heat. You'll also want to check out the cabins, which have all new interiors.
We have cabins that accommodate 2, 4, or 6, or you can get in a unit that has an adjoining side and rent both sides. So we kind of fit your need based on how many people you have.
So now we've talked about it and we're all excited and you got everybody going, okay, well, what do they look like? Can we go see some?
Absolutely. Let's go inside.
Let's go.
Whoa, get a load of this place. New furniture, beds, lights, kitchen, and the rustic hickory. I'm telling you, you feel like you're in tune with the park. I can't wait until they finish the decks on these lakeside cabins. Imagine sunset views from here. Sweet!
We took an old comfort station, converted it into what we call a lake hut. It's called Ray Haven. It's basically a place that has a bed in it, has some chairs, a TV, coffee pot, microwave, air conditioning, heat and air in it. We have 6 campgrounds here. The biggest option is that we have a brand new campground in Seminole, and it has everything that they need anymore. That has 20 amp, 30 amp, 50 amp service, some with sewer, some without, asphalt entryways to it, grills, lantern hangers, picnic table at every site. So it's a beautiful area.
Our last stop here at Sequoyah State Park is the group camp. 153 can sleep in this area. And we're finding out that church camps like it, you know, family get-togethers, family reunions even. So if you're that outdoorsy type, you would really kind of love this. So think about it. We've showed you the bunkhouse, and we've showed you the lodge, and the cabanas, and the cabins. There's just so much I can't name it all off. So make your next road trip to Sequoyah State Park.
For Discover Oklahoma, I'm Jeff Roberts.
Sequoyah State Park is always a great place to visit, and for more information on the park, to plan your next trip there, just head on over to the Discover Oklahoma page at travelok.com.
All right, we have lots more coming up.
Time to talk about food. You knew we would eventually. How about some barbecue? We're going to take you back to Sallisaw to find that delicious cue when AAA's Discover Oklahoma returns in 2 short minutes.
We had some family members that had switched to AAA, and they kept telling us how much money they were saving and kept telling us that we should look into it. And so we decided that we should go see what we could do. We have 3 kids, and there's not a lot of money left at the end of every month, and so any penny that you can save is a big deal. AAA was something I always heard of when I was growing up, and when people talked about it, they talked about it in a reliable way. And so when we switched to AAA, it was something that we just trusted from the beginning. It ended up saving us quite a bit. Our car insurance alone saved us probably about $600 a year. Our life insurance, we were actually able to double our coverage, and our premium still went down close to about half as well. Again, it's not something you ever want to think about as you grow up and become a grown-up with a family, but it's definitely something that you need to have. Having insurance is important. Having affordable insurance that you can trust is a blessing.
Plenty of room to swing a rope.
Plenty of heart and plenty of hope.
Come sailing down the plains,
and the waving wheat
Can sure smell sweet when the wind
comes in behind the rain.
Every night my honey lemon died.
sit alone and talk.
Making lazy circles in the sky. We know we go to the land, and the land we belong to is grand. So when you say
We're only saying you're doing fine.
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma, okay.
L-A-H-O-M-A,
Oklahoma, okay.
Oklahoma, come see for yourself.
Welcome back to AAA's Discover Oklahoma, kind of a Sequoia theme this week.
We've already been to Sallisaw twice. We went to the 14 Flags Museum and to Sequoiah's cabin.
Time to eat now. We don't have to leave Sallisaw, one of my favorite barbecue places.
I didn't know it was one of your favorite
places.
places.
It is. Love it.
It's one of those places that combines delicious food with family and history. It's called
Perfect.
the Wild Horse Mountain Barbecue, and they do celebrate family tradition.
3.5 miles south of Sallisaw on State Highway 59 sits an Oklahoma institution. Wild Horse Mountain BBQ is tucked appropriately enough against the base of Wild Horse Mountain. It doesn't look like a fancy eating place, and it isn't, but come here at lunchtime and you'll find out it is a busy eating place. The fare is simple: barbecued beef, pork ribs, and beans. Don't ask for fries with that, but you can get chips. Hubert Holman started the business back in 1965.
He made sandwiches and gave them away for the first year or so. And one afternoon he talked to one of his friends. He asked him, he said, "Is this good enough to pay for?" He said, "Yeah, I'd pay for it." He said, "Well, give me 50 cents then."
Dale Holman and his brother Bill run the family business now that Hubert is gone. His barbecue was good enough to make you see stars like Johnny Paycheck, Charlie Daniels, who is a frequent visitor, and Garth Brooks has been here too. But it's the common folks who keep Wild Horse Mountain in business.
The customers we have been just very, very, very extremely loyal to us. We love every one of them, you know, whether it's from Poteau or Sallisaw or Bayan or Arkansas, and we got people that come over here that they might drive 50, 75, 100 miles just to eat, turn around and go back.
I ate here 15 years ago.
And I've never eaten here, and he's been telling me how good it is for 15 years. So.
It was just a little tiny abandoned gas station. You could see the logs out in the back, scattered all over, the oak logs. Had a few picnic tables, didn't have any drink machines, just a Coke machine. It was tremendous barbecue. So I remembered it. The next time we came through here, I stopped on the highway and asked if it was still here.
Dale Holman hears stories like that all the time. Like most barbecue, the secret is in the sauce, and the sauce here is good. So good they make 40 gallons a day. The meat is slow cooked over a hickory fire. And all that makes for great food. But is there another secret?
I think we're in the devil's triangle of barbecue, that we just draw them all in right here and they don't have a chance. Because honestly, there's been barbecue that open up around here that we've seen come in and go out that I always thought that theirs was just as good as ours. But it's just the notoriety that got started.
The notoriety came from Hubert Holman, who some say was pretty crusty and whose image may or may not still stand in the corner of Wild Horse Mountain BBQ. But a new generation is continuing the reputation of good food at the base of the mountain, and the third generation of Holmans is working the counter in the kitchen. If Oklahoma's lucky, the Holman family and Wild Horse Mountain BBQ will be around for a long, long time. You can find out more about Wild Horse Mountain BBQ in Sallisaw, take a look at the menu, find out hours by visiting the Discover Oklahoma page at travelok.com.
Don't go away, because we have more coming up.
More fun history. A visit to Spiro Mounds when AAA's Discover Oklahoma returns right after this.
He's been our insurance agent for the last 6 years, but the year before that, he was the best man at my wedding.
Asked him if I could quote his auto insurance, to which he said yes, but you're going to have to beat the company I've been with for forever in order to get it.
I didn't think they'd be able to.
So I took the opportunity to quote it, and I know I was able to save him about $600 a year.
Man, I was just like, boom shakalaka, like, are you kidding me?
He actually said that on the phone, boom shakalaka.
You know, saving money with AAA means food on the table for my family. Even after he saved us tons of money, he's looked at our policy over the years and helped us make changes to save even more money without us asking.
We offer the best of both worlds. We have great customer satisfaction through the level of service that we provide, and combined with an amazingly low rate.
You know, as a parent and as a husband, having insurance is a safety net, because life happens. I know that AAA is going to take care of us. I don't have to worry about it. AAA is going to be there. Levi's going to be there. They're going to take care of our needs.
Every night,
My honey lemon eye.
sit alone and talk.
Watch a hawk.
Making lazy circles in the sky. We know we belong to the land, and the land we belong to is grand. And we say,
We're only saying
you're doing fine, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, come see for yourself.
Welcome back. AAA Oklahoma makes this show possible and does a lot of other great things around our state. Here's a look at today's AAA.
Hi, Christy Gettle here with AAA Oklahoma. With online travel sites and the ability to book directly through most airlines and hotels, what's the incentive for booking with a travel agent? First of all, we save you time by doing all of the research for you. With years of experience and the nation's largest travel agency backing us, we're experts when it comes to planning the vacation of your dreams. Secondly, we save you money by guaranteeing the lowest rates available, and we get you perks by giving you exclusive access to member amenities and rewards. Plus, we're world travelers ourselves and have experienced many of our packages firsthand, so our recommendations are based on real-life experience. What website can say that? So if you're ready to plan a trip with someone 100% dedicated to your vacation needs, visit AAA.com.
AAA for the ones who matter most to you.
We've been talking about history during the show. Now, when you combine that history with discovering an entire lost civilization, I got your attention.
It certainly does get one's attention, and that is exactly what we're going to do in the town of Spiro out in eastern Oklahoma.
Now, for example, visitors there can enjoy nearly 2 miles of interpretive trails.
And one of the elements still being explored are the secrets behind this prehistoric culture and its burial mounds. The Spiro Mounds archaeological site in eastern Oklahoma is a quiet and peaceful place now, so it's hard to imagine that this spot was once a bustling center of commerce and religion that literally was the capital of the known world. But it's true. For 1,000 years, from 600 to 1600 AD, the leaders of this city of about 10,000 people presided over an entire culture, the Mississippian.
Not a nation really, but a confederation of over 60 different tribes, over 30 different language groups, well over 3 million people, and stretched all the way from the Rockies to the Virginia coast, from the Gulf Coast of Florida to the Great Lakes. Now their trade extended further. I mean, Spiro's trade goes all the way from the Gulf of California east. So pretty much most of the United States either had contact with them or was controlled by the leaders here at Spiro. Spiro was kind of the Washington, D.C. for their time.
Dennis Peterson is the manager of the Spiro Mounds Archaeological Center. He spent 2 decades studying these amazing people whose religious and trading influence spanned the continent. He says they were farmers who lived in huts like this one, who were greatly influenced by the solar calendar.
So on the winter solstice, when the sun's at its furthest point to the south, the sun will line up with house mound number 6. At the summer solstice, when the sun is at its furthest point to the north, the sun will line up with house mound number 3. And when the sun is at its midpoints, the vernal, which is the spring equinox, and the fall or autumnal equinox, the sun will set so it sets right over house mound 2, which is directly towards the west.
Peterson believes that it was a 100-year change in the weather pattern that led to the demise of the Spiro influence as people lost confidence in their leaders' ability to protect them. Inside the museum on the grounds, there are stunning examples of the art of the Spiro people. Carved shells that served as art and also identification for messengers. Figurines and sculptures that depict the Spiro people as they saw themselves, and also the tools of everyday life. Most of it was excavated from this mound, the burial mound, or the Craig Mound as it's known. In 1933, treasure hunters dug into the mound and sold tons of artifacts to collectors until government intervention stopped them. The result is that you will see Spiro artifacts everywhere.
From the Smithsonian to UCLA, University of Chicago to the University of Texas, there's stuff in the Louvre in Paris, the British Museum in London, stuff in Leningrad, Yugoslavia, Saudi Arabia, Buenos Aires, Peking, Japan, Taiwan, Korea, outside Jerusalem.
We have not lost the Spiro people. Their faces peer back at us from their sculpture, from the murals that depict their rituals. In many ways, they never left. For those they influenced, the Cherokees, Choctaws, Creeks, the Caddo, and the Wichita, and many other tribes live here today, and you can see the Spiro cultural influence in their art and customs. Visit the past and understand the present a little better. To visit the Spiro Mounds and see all the art and artifacts at the site, you can dig up all the information you're going to need for that when you visit the Discover Oklahoma page at travelok.com. Well, that's our time for this week. We hope you've enjoyed this little trip through history. And thanks to Sequoyah for co-hosting.
Absolutely. We also want to thank the other folks at the Capitol for hosting us. And remember, you can take a tour of the Capitol. They will give you a lot of fun information.
It is a beautiful place. And if you haven't been here for a while, you really need to come and pay a visit. Here's what's coming up next week. We'll take a look at some other Native American highlights around our state, from the Comanche Museum in Lawton to a cultural tour of the Cherokee National Museum in Tahlequah and the Seminole Nation Museum in Wewoka. Hope you'll join us.
So until next time, remember,
there's always something to discover in Oklahoma. Production vehicle provided by the Oklahoma Ford Dealers, official partner of the Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Department.